President Salva Kiir and Sudanese delegation discuss possible solution to the conflict in Sudan. Security assesses the general situation in Pachala in Pibora administrative area. And Catholic Church launches a 3-year women empowerment project. Good afternoon and welcome to Ssbc English News, coming to live in the national capital Juba with me, Abraham Aken. We thank you very much for joining us, and don't forget to join us live on Ssbc Facebook page, that is Ssbc TV, and on YouTube channel, that is Ssbc Official. President Salva Kiir on Wednesday met with Forces of Freedom and Change delegation led by Umar al-Digir to discuss the Sudanese crisis and possible solution to the conflict in Sudan. The Secretary of his Mediation Committee, Dr. Diop Matogding, said the meeting efforts to find a lasting political solution to the Sudanese crisis. Speaking on behalf of the delegation, Sadiq Al-Mahdi said the meeting discussed the outcome of the Cairo summit and the steps to unify the political and civil forces in the capital Khartoum.
They came this morning and they met with His Excellency the President, and the main issue from the group is that they need His Excellency the President to speed up his initiative in order to see into it that the conflict is resolved in Sudan. They believe that His Excellency the President is the only person in the region that could know very well the issue in Sudan, and it can help a lot in order to bring to lasting peace in the country.
قدم وفدنا يمثل قوى الحرية والتغيير للقاء فخامته وللقاء لجنة الوساطة التي مكلفتها جمهورية جنوب السودان لإيجاد حل لأزمة الحرب في السودان. استعرضنا كذلك خارطة الطريق التي توصلنا لها في اجتماعنا الأخير في الحرية والتغيير، وهي من مرحلتين باختصار شديد جدا. المرحلة الأولى تعمل لوقف العدائيات وتحقيق الاستقرار في السودان وفتح المجال للإغاثات لمساعدة الشعب السوداني الذي يعاني معاناة شديدة الآن من جراء هذه الحرب.
Vice President Dr. James Waniga says implementation of the revitalized peace agreement is progressing well. Dr. Iga made the remarks during a meeting with the chairman of the National Democratic Movement, Dr. Lam Akol Jawin, in Juba on Wednesday. Shortly after the meeting, Dr. Lam Akol says the meeting also deliberated on preparations for the general elections in 2024.
Good discussion and sharing ideas on the process of the implementation of the peace agreement, and especially the next stage, which is the conduct of the general elections, expected to be in December 2024. We discussed the necessary steps that needs to be taken by all the political parties that are party to the peace agreement and the stakeholders. And we think that the process entails consensus between the parties to agree on the way forward.
UNICEF has commended government for cooperating with partners in implementing the Health Pool Fund, which is one of the latest health care programs in South Sudan, delivering services in 7 states and 1 administrative area. The media after meeting Vice President Hussein Abdelbagi Akol along the National Minister of Health Yolanda Wilding in Juba on Wednesday, the representative of UNICEF, Amida Luseko, affirmed the organization's commitment in implementing the projects it is funding. Minister Yolanda Will figures the health care programs being implemented by UNICEF.
We tackle the issues to do with the new project, and we tackle like the issues to do with the current project that we are implementing. The current project that we are implementing, it is divided into two. We have got Health Pool Fund, which is covering 7 states and 1 administrative area. We have got World Bank project, which is being implemented by UNICEF in Greater Upper Nile area, covering 3 states and 2 administrative areas. The project is ongoing well. And then all the donors and most of the partners in the health sector represented by UNICEF, WHO, and then the government have been embarking on discussion for the last 1 year. And that discussion has now materialized. We are almost in the final stages of it, whereby we are paving the way to the next future of healthcare in South Sudan. The transformation in the health project in South Sudan as the line ministry. This project is going to be targeting the SDG goals are set by the UN for 2023 and the goals for Africa we want for 2063, whereby we are targeting the localization, we are targeting the resiliency, and we are targeting the sustainability of the healthcare system.
We were able to inform the Vice President Abdul Baghi on the steps that we have taken so far, working hand in hand with the Ministry of Health to be able to build the capacity of the partners, particularly the local partners, and to support the localization agenda, as the Minister has just alluded to, in terms of them in future taking over the implementation of the activities which are under the Ministry of Health, under the vision that they have of reaching all people with basic health services.
A church committee led by John Dor Majok briefed Vice President Tabandengai on preparations for celebration of the centenary of Bentiu Catholic Church in Unity State. Speaking to the media, John Dor Majok says they discussed possible support by the leaders of Unity State to provide the success of the occasion.
The members of the committee of Bentiu that have been assigned to prepare the centenary celebration have come to visit the Vice President, Honorable His Excellency Taban Deng, to appeal for resources that will help us to celebrate or to make the celebration successful. There are so many issues before us now as a committee assigned to prepare this celebration. The first is that, of course, during the war, many churches have been destroyed. Plus the fact that the floods in Unity State have also affected the church compound. And most of the church structures are not existing in the state. So we have to start from scratch. And starting from scratch needs a lot of resources.
Vice President Rebecca Nyandeng Dumabior and the British Ambassador Guy Warrington have discussed humanitarian needs in the country. The Vice President also met with the newly appointed Minister of Youth and Sports, Dr. Joseph Gangakech, and discussed youth empowerment programs. Paul Beath reports.
President Rebecca Nyandeng Dumabior and the United Kingdom Ambassador Guy Warrington discussed humanitarian situation and strategies for addressing such challenges in the country. In a statement to Ssbc, Ambassador Warrington expressed the international community commitments to work in partnership with the government to provide humanitarian assistance to the people affected. Guy appealed to the governments to address issues of roadblocks for the humanitarian workers to deliver services to the needy in the country.
We focused on the humanitarian situation, the increasing needs, the decreasing amount of money available for humanitarian work on a global level, but also here in South Sudan. So we focus very much on how we might make, working in partnership with the government, the international community and the government, how we might make the money that we do have go further, because this is a very expensive country to deliver humanitarian assistance in. And we particularly spoke around the provision of infrastructure to allow humanitarian delivery, and also the question of roadblocks and people taxing humanitarian assistance. And we were very much of one mind about the importance of these two issues.
In a separate development, Vice President Rebecca Nyandeng Demabure and the Minister of Youth and Sport, Dr. Ssbc Akech, discussed youth empowerment and the cooperation among the youth. In a statement to the media, Minister Ssbc Akech reaffirmed his commitment to deliver services to the young people in the country.
To discuss my priorities for the ministry, she appreciates and thanks the President for bestowing the trusts upon the young people. Especially this ministry is key as we approach elections. We discuss the need to unite the youth so that there is peace, that the youth should participate in the development of this country. We discussed issues of cooperation, so we support the sports of our country, and we pledge to work together to build peace among the youth and to promote unity and prosperity.
The two meetings discussed addressing the humanitarian situations and the challenges facing young people in the country. Paul Bith, Ssbc.
We are going for a short break, and when we return, we shall go to Western Equatorial State capital Yambio, where the SPLM members honors Dr. Jemanuno Kumba for the honorary decree awarded to him in Benin.
Greater Upper Nile Region States and Administrative Areas High-Level Committee for Endorsement of SPLM Chairman, under the leadership of Comrade Dr. Joseph Manchuil Wijang, organizes the endorsement rally of Comrade General Salva Kiir Mayardit as SPLM flag bearer and presidential candidate in forthcoming general election 2024 in Malakal town on the first week of December 2023, under the theme Reigniting SPLM in Greater Upper Nile Region to endorse President Salva Kiir Mayardit for general election 2024.
It is my humble request to the great people of Upper Nile region to reconcile and come together as the people of one region and as the people of the great South Sudan. Let us forge a new page of love, page of reconciliation, and page of belonging to that great region of Upper Nile. And I therefore call upon all of you, the people of Upper Nile region, to turn out in Malakal town for the reception and welcoming of our chairman of the SPLM and the President of the Republic, Comrade General Salva Kiir Mayardit, the champion of our independence and peacemaker in our country.
All communities of Greater Upper Nile region are invited to welcome the champion of peace and symbol of unity to Malakal town, His Excellency General President Salva Kiir Mayardit.
Welcome back from that short break, and if you have just joined us, this is SSBC 1 p.m. news coming to you live in the national capital, Juba, with me, Abraham Aken, and you can also join us on our social media handles, that is SSBC TV, and on our YouTube channel, that is SSBC Official. SPLM members in Western Equatorial State organized a get-together to celebrate the honorary doctorate degree awarded to Speaker Jemanuno SPLM of the SPLM Political Bureau. The honorary doctorate degree was awarded to Right Honorable Jemanuno Kumba by Benin World University for her excellence in public service and charitable work.
I will start with our President, His Excellency General Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, under whose leadership women have got into positions which they were not there before. when there is a political will from a leader to do things to empower men and women, then you can see the results as you are seeing today. I also want to thank the SPLM as a party policy that requires that women must participate on equal footing with their male counterparts. The women are 25%. And during the CPA, we participated at 25%. After independence, the president decided that he recognized the work of women and their contribution, and that 25% is not enough. He wants to increase it to 35%.
For us, as the people of Western Equatorial State, for having a daughter, a mother, a sister from Western Equatorial State who have been recognized by one of the international university, and she was given the honorary doctorate. The honorary doctorate, it is one of the degrees that can be given by any college or university for someone who have achieved big things in the community or the society. If you see the constructions, the schools, and hospitals, and primary health care centers in Western Equatoria, Banakul Bizaman Bito. But during the time of Gomerjema, she had initiated and constructed the 4 historic house of the SPLM Secretariat.
We are here to celebrate our achievement as women. What she has done is not for her. It is ours as women of South Sudan. Right now, she is making a lot of progress. Another one is Wahid Haja. If you go to Juba Parliament, you will forget what Parliament is. That is it in the US, or it is in the UK, or it is in Uganda, or in Kenya.
The senior presidential advisor, General Kwalmanyang Juk, and chairman of Dr. John Grang Memorial University of Science and Technology Council, appreciates the university's leadership for executing developmental programs despite the challenges facing the school. Kwalmanyang Juk was addressing the university's annual meeting in Jonglei State Capital, Bor. The university's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Abraham Matoch, says the meeting came up with some resolutions including fundraising, establishment of research centers, and operationalization of new colleges.
We are members of the University Council of the John Grang Memorial University of Science and Technology. We have just finished our meeting, in which we listened to the progress reports at the university and their plans that also were passed. And we are satisfied the challenges with the advancement or the progress of the university in spite of the challenges. Insecurity or financial, almost are doing that on their own. You can see now the structures, the building that is here is on their own initiative, their own contacts, and so that is going very well. And this university, of course, has excelled. Has become now the rating of the universities in South Sudan. It has become number 2 to Juba University. This is a very big achievement. We know that there is good cooperation of the Vice Chancellor with the staff, and including the students. And, we will encourage them to continue with that spirit, and we'll also help the university also in raising funds for the development of this university. And hopefully the Minister of the Government of South Sudan
also support the efforts. Thank you very much.
Today is a University Council meeting to review and pass the annual report of the university. It's an important day, and many programs are actually endorsed, like fundraising is endorsed, like new colleges, and then a lot of input from the councillors advising the university administration. Most important issues that are actually raised and caution actually made, and their encouragement to stand with the university administration and support all the programs and the development programs, and suggested new things that can be considered in the journal. These are the issues actually discussed in preparation to National Council for Higher Education meeting. And this has been chaired by Honorable Walma Nyangit, the senior advisor and also the chairperson of the University Council.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. James Peter Morgan, and the head of Swedish mission in South Sudan, Eding Landvist, discussed bilateral relations between South Sudan and Sweden. In a statement to the media, Eding said Sweden has been a strong supporter of South Sudan since independence.
Sweden has been a strong supporter of South Sudan since independence and over the past years, and especially within our development cooperation, but also in humanitarian assistance. Through its partners, Sweden contributes to improved and sustainable livelihoods, basic services such as health and education, but also to promote peaceful coexistence and inclusive societies. We touched upon the implementation of the peace agreement and the way towards the elections. I particularly emphasized the need to allow for the necessary civic and political space leading up to the elections, and also to ensure the full participation of women, both to stand as candidates, but also to participate in the debate and the discussions leading up to the elections, but of course also then to participate.
South Sudan and Morocco have discussed bilateral cooperation in boosting, institution of higher learning. The Minister of Higher Education, Gabriel Chang, met with his Moroccan counterpart in Rabat and discussed the conditions of South Sudanese students studying in Morocco.
Yes, we just had a very useful and constructive meeting with His Excellency, the Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research of Morocco, on the issues of the support they are giving to our students, and we discussed how we can expand that one to include exchanges of our universities teaching professors with theirs, joint researches, and also to improve the conditions of. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The Red Army Foundation has awarded honorary certificates to its members appointed in various positions in the government in an event. Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Bak Barnabachol, and the Governor of the Bank of South Sudan, Dr. James Ali Garang. Speaking at the occasion, SPLM Secretary for Culture, Information and Communication, Bagdagbu Daniel, commended the Red Army Foundation for the special recognition. The Red Army Foundation Secretary for Information, Marial Awotil, also spoke at the event.
Young men and women were taken at very young age. When they reached the place for training, the leadership of the SPLA by that time separated them into two. The young ones were made to go for education. They were not meant to fight wars, but the war they were meant to fight was to go to fight with the pens. That's why Dr. John Garang de Mabior opened a box of pencils He broke them into 3 pieces, gave them to each of those young cadets, and tell them, this is your gun. And the gun was the pencil.
So we are very happy, and we gave them the certificate of appreciation under the leadership of the SPLM. Here today we have come with the acting chairperson, Comrade Dabora Chititga Magog of the Red Army Foundation, and the deputy chair, Comrade Simon Shualbiel, and we have matched all the Red Army members in their respective places. We have come and we have to thank them for the work that they have did and for the presidential appointment. And we have also encouraged them that they should do better and they should do more than that, such that the Red Army in all their works and lives will be recognized and have to be given a national duty.
And coming up, the police chief has directed concerned authorities to crack down on lawful groups to stabilize security in the city. We are going out for another break and we will be back with more stories. Please don't go anywhere. Welcome back. The Inspector General of Police, General Atem Rolbiar, has directed sector commanders in their various areas of deployment to fight unlawful group, also known as Niggers and Torontos, to stabilize security in the national capital. Abraham Falek reports.
The new Inspector General of Police has issued strict orders to all sector commanders never to relent on criminal activities in Juba City. Accordingly, the police chief has extended olive branches to the criminal gangs to reform or face the consequences. Major General Daniel Justin Bulo, police spokesperson, says police operatives have so far arrested more than 90 suspected members of the criminal gangs groups since the start of the operations. He pointed out that the police chief has promised to address some of the challenges to the sectors.
This morning, the Inspector General of Police met with the commanders of the 5 sectors of Juba Town, and they discussed matters related to the... we managed to arrest some of them, and still the operation is going on, and the victim shares idea of some of the challenges which our commanders have, sometimes they harm innocent people.
In a separate news development, a youth group led by the chairperson of Greater Bor Youth Association, Deng Wur Deng, and a group of women headed by the chairperson of the South Sudan Women's Bloc, Amer Manyok Deng, congratulate President Kiir upon appointing General Atem Marol Biar, the new Inspector General of Police. The 2 groups appreciate General Atem for declaring war against gangsters terrorizing the people in Juba City and elsewhere in the country.
Our main reason for visit was to congratulate him and to tell him that there are a lot of things that need his attention as a senior officer and the IGP and the new IGP. At least there are some difficulties that are happening in town, and where we are, like in Sherkat, there are a lot of issues that need his attention, like the issue of our kids who are not in schools and they become thugs and they are disturbing the stability of the communities living in Juba.
There will be no longer niggers, and our children will be disciplined.
with the discipline that he has started, congratulations, and that is why we have given him a stick. Because in our culture as South Sudanese, every child must be disciplined. Let's support our government and support our police and give them information. Any child or anybody who has been addicted by a known, whether it is addicted by the drugs or addicted by the alcohol or addicted by anything that is not needed by our culture, our government has taken a step to discipline the people who are not disciplined.
Amer Manyo calls upon the people of Juba City to cooperate with the police by reporting suspected criminal activities in their areas to the concerned authority.
The Chief of Defense Forces, General Santino Dengwol, led a top security delegation to Pashala in Pibor administrative area to acquaint themselves with the security situation in the area. Among the delegation was the Director General of Internal Security Bureau, General Akol Kurkuch, Chief of Military Intelligence, General Stephen Marshall, and many others.
ونينا دي أنين ما بكون في حاجات متعيدات مدنية حتى كلام أنين بكلم معكم ده مكتوب في قانون متعجن وسودان ما في وداد أمنيا بكلم مع مواطن ما هذا السلطة المدنية زي أكشن كوميشنر هذا قوات بتاعنا إن كان في حاجة داير يكرروا أنين بقول يا سيد الرئيس أو ده سبب فيما يعني أنين ما بكرر حاجة بيد بابي ما في يكون سلطة المدنية وبعد كده نمشي نعمل تنفيذ شغل بتاع السلطة المدنية.
حاجة بسيطة ده نقوله فشلا زي ما قالوا كينج جبل ده منطقة تاريخي وده منطقة خاص لرئيس ألفا بعد حوادث بتاع 2013 فشلا قطع ما في أي زول كان بيجي هنا رئيس يناداني وقال لي ينادار كينج akwai yigo ma'ana ga tawo kullu kare jiba lefi jubai yum da kullu jamasho la hadi mishaga da ma hina
منقرب دباكن
الكلام اللي فيه قلت انه ناس بكتروا ساكت في الهله انا جاي كلام ده شديد انا ككين نقعد سوا في سلام يوم داك لما كان مسوا في شلال الدنيا كانت سيف طلعنا لربنا لما المطر نزل ليه مطر نزل يا جماعه؟ لانه جدودنا طلع من وين؟ جدودنا طلع من البر وليه يوم الليله اننا قاعدين فوق ليش شنو ما عندنا ناس وتو قاعدين في يد بتاعنا ما في قبليه ده من كده وده من كده كل قبائل بتاع جنوب السودان كلنا سوا نعيب بعض بتاعنا اذا في سلام يا جماعه ناس بيكونوا عايين اذا في كراهيه بين القبائل يا جماعه كراهيه ده موت بسبب الموت أنا متأخرين جديد من زمن الجنوان ما لنا تنمية أنا بشكركم عشان الناس الكبار وصلوا لنا هنا جي بتاعكم هنا يعني جماعة كانوا في كوب شوية كده عشان نشوفكم الموت فعلا وصل وتو كان ما بيجي لكن هسا وترفعوا موت مننا ونينا بقينا هسا مقصودين دي بعد الموت في شنو تاني مع سلام جا ما في حاجة تاني الوقت ناس أصلوا بيعيشوا مع ناس سوا هم أليسن بقولوا إنه أقدر ناس بيأكلوا مع ناس سوا مشاركة ده مين بتاعنا
Media Authority has called on the organized forces to cooperate with journalists. The chairperson of Media Authority, Atong Majokur, made the remarks on Tuesday when addressing a workshop on the relations between media and the army in the forthcoming elections. Atong also called on the media to begin extending information beyond Juba, saying majority who are in the remote villages are being deprived of important information, especially the upcoming elections. He further urged media in the country to also help translate media contents into local languages, saying English and Arabic are not being understood well in the rural areas.
I would like to start by an attack. Are we only informing Juba, or do we have to go beyond Juba? Do we have to make our people in the village utilize peace agreement? It is being implemented. We are left with few days to the national election. We are left with few days to work on our constitution. If we are not doing our role perfectly, let us move and start doing it. The other organized forces should know that if you have a certain ID, then you are allowed to do that job. let's try not to interrupt, because it
Don Bosco launched a 3-year project to support more than 500 women in Juba. The project, under the theme Sustainable Agriculture as a means for promoting food security, women empowerment and socio-economic development, is funded by the Italian Agency for Development Cooperation in partnership.
The Celestial Sisters of Don Bosco has launched a 3-year project agreed to support Central Equatorial State Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry. In his keynote address, the project manager, Lago Simon, highlighted the aims of project and urged the beneficiaries to take advantage of the project.
This project we are talking about today is within the line of national policy of South Sudan, and particularly for agriculture, food security, as well as for the women's empowerment. The project aim is to strengthen the diversified and sustainable agricultural production capacity of the women in the 10 villages of Juba County.
John Lara, the chief representative, expresses his gratitude to Celestial Sisters of Don Bosco and encouraged the women to fight hunger through project and embrace unity among the communities. The Farik priest of Celestial Sisters of Don Bosco, Reverend Father George, says agriculture is one of the aspects in the development of any nation.
الخطوة الأول عشان يبني السلام في بلد بتاعته، عشان الناس يعيش مع بعض، عائلات، قبائل، عشان هنا نبني البلد باتفاق. ده برضه تنمية المرأة، الأمهات أو عمود الفقرية في داخل المجتمع بتاعنا. لذلك هنا لازم نشجعهم نعمل دفاع.
The National Ministry of Agriculture Representative Esther Samuel described agriculture as the beacons to promote food security and socio-economic development.
Number 3, بكون في availability, بكون في كفاية، عايزه كده يكون. Number 3, بكون في طريقة عايزه بقدر استخدمه، عايزه بقدر أكل أكله. ونمبر 4, بكون في stability, بكون في استقرار، مجال بكون ما في.
Reporting for South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation, I am Dutta Kunjok, Juba.
And that is story reported by my colleague Dutta Ping bring us to the end of our news. From me, Abraham Aken and the whole team here, we thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.